Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome to a video that will possibly ruin your childhood completely or probably demolish a childhood dream that you had of one day going to a Disney related theme park, you know, anywhere in the world, but maybe like Florida, California, the ones that are the most popular, you know. I have actually been there 3 times in my youth while I still lived in the United States, you know, and it really is a magical place. Now, I went to the one in Orlando, which is Walt Disney World, you know, because there's also Disneyland in California. There's a little bit of a difference there. But I'm pretty sure you guys know what both of them are, right? And Disneyland actually opened in 1955 while Walt Disney World opened later in 71. And since then, the parks have brought in so many people from all over the world. It has made so much money and helped families to create so many amazing memories that they have been cherishing that they will cherish for the rest of their lives, you know? And we kind of associate Disney with a very family-friendly theme, you know? Now, I'm not talking about the company that only cares about money and not the franchise, but the actual parks, you know, the theme parks. You know, we've got there's actually 4. I have a little cheat here because I forgot, you know, inside of Walt Disney World Resort, you know, or also called just Walt Disney World, we have Magic Kingdom, we have Epcot, we have Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Disney's Animal Kingdom. I think back in the day when I went there were 5 parks, you know, but they have 2 water parks, 27 themed resort hotels, and 9 non-Disney hotels, several golf courses, a camping resort even, and other entertainment venues, you know, which also includes the outdoor shopping center Disney Springs, you know. And it's weird because I actually went there when I was a kid, but it was so much different, you know, because today obviously it's much more modern and the technology has gotten much better. They have now the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, which I would love to go to. There's a Star Wars attraction. There's a whole Star Wars side of the park now because Disney owns Star Wars. So there have been a lot of changes over the years, and we have always seen Disney World as being a place where you can go to make good memories, you know. And it's really hard to think about this ever having a positive a negative side to it, you know. But even the best things in life have dark secrets, you know. And today we're going to be talking about the darker side of these family-friendly theme parks, you know, that actually have quite a few secrets beneath the surface. And I have scoured the internet many times, you know, gone to many different sources to look up information for you guys, and I have come up with something that I think is going to be very interesting for you. You guys should know, and if you don't, you're about to find out, that Disney has seen its fair share of deaths in its theme parks, and some of them are natural, you know. Sometimes the guests just don't feel good and they happen to fall ill and die on the scene, you know. Or they died through something completely unrelated to the park itself, you know. But there are times when something in the park is what causes the death itself, you know, like a malfunction in one of the rides, the attractions, you know, or even a child who gets lost, you know. Maybe a Scandinus employee takes them somewhere else and they're never seen again, you know, or they just randomly disappear into the deep tunnels under the parks, you know, and they just can never be found again. Sometimes they're eaten by a crocodile or something, you know. You never know. A lot of really weird stuff goes down at Disney, man. A lot of really weird stuff goes down in these parks. And the way that this information is presented to us is that, like, I mean, it's natural for this to happen, you know, because parks are always going to have some kind of malfunctions in the rides and the attractions, you know. They're not exactly a perfect working place, but Disney itself is very suspicious because of the way that certain people disappear and the way that certain employees behave, you know. There have been many different accidents and even deaths, you know, very fatal tragedies that occurred in Disneyland parks, and I'm going to isolate a few of them for you guys today, but I'm also going to talk about, I tried to choose a few and narrow it down to the ones that are a bit more extreme, you know, or more notable, because if I have to actually tell you guys in detail every single death and accident, it's going to be like a 45-minute long video, and you guys aren't going to have the patience to watch that. But anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is isolate for you guys the incidents that happened at Walt Disney World, specifically in Orlando, Florida, the one that I actually went to when I was really young. God, I miss it so much. I used to live so close. Anyway, this starts all the way back in 1989 when a 29-year-old jogger was very injured on property when he ran in front of a truck. So this one is completely his fault. He ran in front of the truck. But in 1990, a worker was killed at the Hollywood Studios when he fell 33 feet to his death from a scaffold while working on an air conditioning duct. Okay, so it's a natural death. He's the one who slipped and fell, but it gets a little weirder. In the same year, in a completely unrelated accident, 3 tourists were injured when 3 sets of cars in the Space Mountain roller coaster at Magic Kingdom just abruptly stopped for no reason. But then later, it was because the computer detected a faulty wheel and automatically halted the system. Okay, in the same year, 5 tourists actually suffered a few minor injuries when pieces of molding fell from the ceiling of the Haunted Mansion attraction. So we're talking about like a maintenance issue there. In 1984, a 6-year-old girl was badly injured when she became pinned between a boat and a boarding dock at the It's a Small World ride at Magic Kingdom. And she suffered collapsed lungs and a broken rib and a broken arm. So she could have died. So this is already an accidental thing where a child or somebody gets stuck between a ride and another and the attractions kind of smoosh them together, you know. In 1999, 6 people were burned when fireworks at New World's festivities exploded near them. 2005, a 4-year-old boy died of a heart attack, you know, after riding the Mission Space ride at Epcot. So the ride apparently caused his anxiety to act up and he unfortunately didn't make it. The following year in 2006, a 49-year-old woman became ill after riding the same exact attraction, you know, and she was taken to a nearby hospital and died the next day. It's starting to get a little suspicious, isn't it? 2007, a 44-year-old man visiting the park, he actually died after apparently suffering a heart attack on the Expedition Everest roller coaster in Animal Kingdom, and no heart defibrillators were available in the area, so unfortunately they couldn't resuscitate him. 2009, a 21-year-old monorail driver was killed when his train crashed into another monorail because of a track change malfunction. And this was actually the first fatal accident involving a monorail in the entire 30-year history of the resort up until then. The same year, a 47-year-old Disney performer was injured during Captain Jack's Pirate Tutorial show at Disney World. He succumbed to his injuries a few days later and died. Okay, the same year, 2009, a stuntman at Disney's Hollywood Studios died after suffering a head injury while practicing a tumbling role during a rehearsal for the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular show. Okay, the same exact year, now sometime later in October, on Halloween, coincidentally, October 31st, a 4-year-old girl was hurt at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort when a golf cart she was riding in overturned. The next year in 2010, a Walt Disney World employee broke his leg after he was struck by a guest driving a car at the Tomorrowland Speedway in the Magic Kingdom. So this might have just been human stupidity or something. You're not looking where you're going. Also in 2010, 8 people were injured. One of them was very seriously injured because of a crash between a Disney bus and a Waldorf Astoria bus near Epcot. And then in 2010, also in the same year, a 10-year-old boy was hit and killed by a bus while riding his bike at Fort Wilderness. Okay, now this here I believe is a little outdated because it stops in 2010, and since then I'm sure there have been many more injuries and even more deaths, but the reason that I chose this article specifically is because it isolates a few key incidents where people actually lose their lives while they're trying to do something in the park, which I think is actually kind of unsettling if you stop to think about it, because it's a theme park that's like you're supposed to go there to have fun and enjoy yourself, and you end up dying because of an accident, well, either unprovoked by you or the actual park maintenance itself. Now, this dark rabbit hole goes deeper and deeper because there are many conspiracy theories, you know, where they say that like there's a whole complex system of tunnels underneath the entire park that the employees actually use to move around, you know, a little faster, but apparently it's not a very nice place, you know, and there are secret passages here and there that employees use to navigate the park, you know, but they say that sometimes you're gonna come up across a mascot, you know, an employee in a character suit that just behaves oddly, you know, they're a little erratic and they try to lure children somewhere somebody else to do something to them, you know, and sometimes you can see them wearing gas masks underneath the park. You know, there are many creepypastas and scary stories that have been made, you know, in homage to this, you know, taking this as inspiration. But in general, I think that there is a very, very dark cloud over the park. You know, it's very shrouded in darkness and mystery some of the time, and we never really know exactly what's going on, you know, because like I mean, there are some more light-hearted ones, like how Disney actually use they spray certain scents here and there to make you come into a certain store to buy something, you know, or go to eat or drink something. But that's completely normal. It's just a whole marketing ploy, you know. But like actually implementing these mysteries there, you know, and sometimes it gets a little haunting because they say that sometimes some of the park employees actively try to kill some of the people there, you know, like they see them in danger and they don't help them, you know, or sometimes it's a ride. Like there was this one thing, I can't remember if this actually happened or if it was just a random creepypasta, but there was a story of a girl who was on one of the attractions, you know, and there was water somewhere down there, and it's one of those attractions where there's water next to it, but there were some very dangerous electric eels, you know, those poisonous kinds, and one of the girls, I think she accidentally dipped her hand in there, and then the eels shocked her and she died, but went on the ride anyway. And I think in the same story or a similar one, a girl actually lost her legs because the ride kind of malfunctioned malfunction in a way that cut off her legs under the knees, you know, and the ride went anyway. And people were confusing her screams with her screams of agony with screams of joy, you know, and then they didn't help her because they thought she was actually just enjoying herself, and then she died. So there are many tragic tales to be seen in Disney, you know, so there is a good side to it, but the dark side kind of outweighs it, and it doesn't really outweigh, but it kind of balances it out, you know. And of course there are the stories of there being ghosts on the properties, you know. You guys can actually look and find on the internet to see ghost footage here and there of like they say that the park is haunted by Walt Disney himself and other employees or people who have died there. So there are a few tidbits, there are a few pieces of archive footage of ghosts supposedly roaming the property, you know. It's up to you if you believe it or not. It depends on how skeptical you really are, you know. But with me, it's more about, I'm pretty sure you guys know at this point that to me, it's more about seeing to believe, you know. So if I don't see it, then I probably won't believe it. It's not very likely. But then again, I mean, it is interesting to think about this kind of thing, you know. And the park has been surrounded in mystery and a lot of lawsuits and conspiracy theories because of this, you know. And I think it's really interesting to see because, I mean, Disney, they really do think a lot about money. So would they outlie themselves, you know? Would they kind of like confirm these reports of so many deaths and accidents as being their fault when they know that they can potentially lose millions of dollars in lawsuits, you know? Because the families of the victims do sue Disney, you know. They sue the park, they sue the franchise because they think that they are responsible. Even though most of the time it's really the people who are responsible because they're the ones who put themselves in danger. But at the same time, you can't really help but think, you know, a place that is considered to be the happiest place on earth has so many tragic accidents and even deaths, you know, a loss of life, you know. And sometimes it's innocent children, man, you know, they get lost in the park, you know, and then you just never find them again. You don't know what the employees are doing to these kids under the park, under the tunnels. I've heard so many stories, you know. And there's actually a channel that I discovered some time ago called Mr. Creepypasta. He narrates real actual stories about things that happen to people around the world. And I think that there were a few ones about Disney, some scary stories about people who experienced weird things in one of these parks, you know. And you guys can go on and see you can go into the rabbit hole much more deeper. You can go check out Matthew Santora's channel where he talks about the dark side of Disney, you know. So I mean, I'm just doing my own take on it, the way that I see it, you know, and how you can kind of isolate the best of both worlds. When I went to Disney when I was a kid, obviously my memories were all happy. I don't remember anything bad happening or anything out of the ordinary except for one of the mascots. He was dressed in a Geppetto costume. He was kind of touching me in a weird way. I think he was just trying to tickle me, you know. He was trying to make me laugh. But it's one of this one memory that I have, you know. But I don't think it was supposed to be anything creepy. But then again, as a child, I don't really think anything is, do you? So me actually going to Disney, I think it's a very good experience. I might do another video later just talking about the park and maybe even showing photos of me there. But this video, I didn't want to do that because it's I wanted to kind of focus on the bad side, you know, kind of like the darker aspect of it. And if you guys have the patience to look this up later, you will see that the rabbit hole goes really deep. There are so many different stories. I was actually looking up articles to read here for you guys, and I found so much content that just wouldn't fit in this video here. So I'm gonna let you guys just look that up on your own later. So now let's get into the final stretch, okay? In a nutshell, does everything that I'm saying to you guys, does all of the information that I'm presenting, should it ultimately put you off from visiting Disney? No, of course not. You definitely should visit these parks, even if you are a little paranoid about the bad things that can happen, you know, to you there and all of your family members and your friends, but you really should still go anyway, because these parks, I mean, as the years go by, they are becoming much more and more modern and safer, you know, to navigate. So I think that any problems that existed in the past, you know, they are less now. But like, there are people who are always going to come up with theories and try to distort the facts and make things seem much worse than they actually are. This is always going to exist, you know. So I mean, you guys can't let this put you off from going to a park. You know, it doesn't really make sense. You guys really should enjoy it anyway, and especially because it's a good place for you to go with your family. You know, go with a romantic partner. You know, go with a couple of friends just for fun, like YouTubers do all the time. You know, before the pandemic, to record vlogs and stuff. It's really a lot of fun, you know. And I really like it when Smosh does it, you know, back in the day. So, and I would love to go there and record videos, you know, and kind of show you guys how the park looks today. You know, it'd really be a dream come true, a long series of vlogs there. But in general, guys, I really think that Disneyland is a place to be admired and not feared. You know, I mean, accidents do happen everywhere, you know. I mean, it is weird for accidents like this to happen in such a happy place where so many kids go to have fun, but it is still gonna happen, you know. I mean, accidents will happen everywhere. It's inevitable. You can't prevent an accident from happening. You know, it's always going to happen no matter what. We can try to prevent it, we can try to be safe, but unfortunately, it's just always going to be there, you know? But anyway, I think I may have rambled on a few times here. I got a little bit off topic, but I just want to tell you guys a little bit about the park itself. And I isolated a few specific incidents there that stopped in 2010, but you guys can go look it up and see that there's so many other things that are happening, you know? And I'm sorry if I don't feel very enthusiastic, you know? It's because it's been a long time since I've recorded. I'm coming out from my vacation, so I haven't done this in a while, so it feels a little weird. It's almost like I have stage fright or something. And I'm really freaking hungry. I want to eat lunch. I should have eaten before, but it's getting late, and I just want to record all the vlogs for you guys, okay? But that's it, guys. If you happen to like this video, then please give it a like and subscribe to my channel, because I release videos literally every single day. And hit the notification button to know exactly what time of the day my uploads are going to be coming out, okay? Because I do them at random times of the day. Alright then, so that's it, guys. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.